Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dakhla, Morocco for the double-headed event for the Qatar Airways GK Kite-Surf World Cup and the GWA Wingfoil World Cup here in this beautiful location. We are right in front of the West Point Hotel where this right-hander, one of the longest in the Atlantic, is already starting to fire. Wind is averaging in between 15 to 25 knots and we've got about 1.4 meter waves at 14 seconds. Conditions are looking good. We can feel the electricity on the beach. We have nationalities from all over the globe. They're here, they're ready to battle, they have the fire, and we are going to be starting off with Wingfoil. The World Cup in Dakhla, with titles on the line, began with a bang when we kicked off with the men's heats. The opening rounds in small swells allowed the world's best wingfoil wave riders to find their groove. The young Corsican rider Noé Cuyala opened his account by taking down Xavi Corr and Hendrick Lopes.
I want to become a world champion in waves. I've been training really hard at home and I have a lot of tricks on the pocket to show. I want to win this event here.
Title contender and Cape Verde event winner Wesley Brito looks to be on top form, starting off with a big heat and advancing through the competition. Hawaii-based Cash Bazola got the upper hand in his heat, but it was becoming trickier as sets were fewer and further between. One of the day's biggest heats featured world champion Malo Guénolé. The winner of the last round in Rio earned the biggest scores of the day. But Finn Spencer, the Maui-based Canadian athlete, gave Guénolé a run for his money. Spencer finished less than a point behind his rival. Clément Rosselló and Chucho Nunot were involved in another tight battle. Rosselló just came out on top, but Nunot was less than half a point behind. Both Nunot and Spencer got their campaigns on track when they won their round 2 heats to progress in the competition. What a way to start off the final event of the pure wave discipline here in Dakhla. We have had absolute epic conditions and made it through round number 1 and halfway through round number 2 of the men. Can't wait to see what the action is going to be starting tomorrow. Bright and early, make sure you stay tuned. Number 2 here at the GWA Wingfoil World Cup in Dakhla, and already it looks like the conditions are starting to come in. A little bit of a slow start this morning, been waiting most of the morning, and now we can see the waves are starting to come up with the push of the tide. The wind is filling in. It's time to get round number 2 of the men out there on the water. Starting off the day slow here in Dakhla, the wind didn't come in until the early stages of the afternoon, but then those conditions we were waiting for appeared and it was game on. Coming out of nowhere, Noé Cuyala, the young F1 rider from Corsica, hit the water with fire, putting on one of the best wave performances we have seen from him so far, setting the bar higher for the next heats. Next to hit the water, Wesley Brito, the Black Mamba, one of our World Championship title contenders. He's hungry, he wants the title. Going out with his usual power, air maneuvers and long carving turns, looks like he is one of the men to watch out for here in Dakhla. Coming to the closing moments of the afternoon, Cash Bazola, the young Maui athlete, hit the water. He is the underdog coming into this competition, but everybody had his eye on him. Starting off with a couple of big moves, then innovation hit the water. Seeing maneuvers that we have never seen before on the waves, landed the first 10.0 ride of the competition and the highest heat combination score so far.
It was good! I had fun, the wind was nice, there were some waves, so can't complain.
Coming off of a high of an event win in Rio de Janeiro, Malo Guénolé surfing like no tomorrow here in Dakhla. Linking turns, adding air maneuver, and his usual flow, he is definitely an athlete to look out for in the rest of the competition. With his usual clinical and clean surfing, Hugo Marin makes it through to the quarterfinals and is still one of the top contenders for the World Championship title.
I'm not done yet. I'm gonna fight until the end, especially to beat Wesley. So yeah, I'm super happy about my result, and let's see tomorrow.
And now that leaves everything open. We are in the quarterfinals of the competition, and the world title race is in between Hugo Marin, Wesley Brito, and Clement Rosselló. Another action-packed day here in Dakhla. We have seen some of the best wingfoiling wave riding to date. We've had 10-point rides out there. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Stay tuned as we are going to be live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dakhla. We have day number 3. This could be the day that we'll be crowning our men and women's World Wave Wingfoiling champions. The scenarios are out, electricity is out here. We can see conditions are looking a little bit better than yesterday. Waves are about 1.5 meters. They're saying 19 seconds. It's already 15 to 18 knots. Let's get out there because we are about to start. The conditions on day 3 were the best we've scored so far. We got good swells and great winds. Casper Zola is one of the stars of the show. He continued his charge in the quarterfinals against the top-ranked Hugo Marin. The winner of the second wave stop in Rio, Malo Guénolé, put paid to the title ambitions of another Frenchman, Clement Rosselló. The young Corsican Noé Cuyala came out firing in his quarterfinal. Wesley Brito was another athlete in with a shout for the title. He found himself trailing throughout the heat as the time ticked down. But the Cape Verdean's patience paid off and he got the biggest set wave of the heat right at the end, giving him a 9.0 wave that earned him the win. That gave Brito the first ever wave world title.
Man, there's a lot of things going through my head now. I just got out of my heat, and to be honest, I still don't feel it that I want it. But I'm gonna come to a point I know it's gonna hit me, but this is the best thing that ever happened for me on wingfoiling, so I'm really feeling really great, and really gonna still push and go for the next one.
Wesley Brito's celebrations were short-lived and he was soon back in the water for the semi-final. He came up against an on-fire Casper Zola, whose electrifying style took the win and booked a place in the grand final. The other semi-final was a battle of the French teenagers, Malo Guénolé and Axel Gerard. Guénolé was too strong, with his 9.67 wave score helping him to reach the final. The final was a repeat of the last round in Rio. The two biggest hitters of the moment, the teenagers Malo Guénolé and Casper Zola, went toe-to-toe. Throughout the 25-minute deciding heat, they traded blows, throwing down new moves that kept them locked together on the scoreboard. Zola's massive 9.57 wave score was ensured he got his nose in front. Guénolé's big 9.0 wave helped him close the gap. but Cash had done enough to give him the win in Dakhla by a fraction of a point.
The final wave stop here in Dakhla has been amazing. The waves are great. We've had wind all throughout the days that we've been competing, so can't ask for much more. The waves have been picking up throughout each day, and I couldn't be more happy. I've done 3 stops so far. I was in New Zealand for a freestyle comp and a little bit of racing, and then my next one was in Rio, which Malo actually beat me there. But I'm happy to do this wave event and take the win, even though it was by 0.2. A little too close for comfort, but we're gonna take it anyways and move on and focus on the next event.
On the women's side, it was a straight fight for the world title between Muna White and Nia Swadiev. With 1 event win each, whoever came out on top in Dakhla would become a world champion. They met in the semi-final and the battle was on. Muna White's experience put some numbers on the board, but found herself trailing against the young Spaniard. At the end of the heat, Muna White got the wave that worked all the way into the beach and earned her a 6.90 wave score and the win on the buzzer. White became our first wave world champion.
This event hasn't finished yet, so yeah, but for me, I'm so stoked to get the world title. Yeah, I thought it was going to come down to the final, but the girls were just ripping this event, like Bojan and Nia. They were getting super high scores, doing solid turns, and the airs too, which I didn't really quite get to do. Still learning that. So yeah, I was surprised to make it through in this heat and win the world title, but I'm super stoked.
On the last day, Muna White came up against Bowen van der Linden for the decider in Dakhla. White showed why she's world champion as she took the event win, linking her turns and carving in the critical section of the wave. We've had an action-packed 4 days of competition down here in Dakhla, and we've been able to crown our event winners and our 2 wave new world champions, Muna White and Wesley Brito. We can't wait to see what happens in 2024. Stay tuned for the action.